Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play BS The Legend of Zelda Ancient Stone Tablets. In the last part we started off week 4 and had Zelda join us on the rest of our adventure. And now it's time to finish everything off, ladies and gentlemen, with an upgrade thief right away. Well then, they're kind of rushing this through, aren't they? Either way, Dungeon 8 is the longest dungeon in the game without a doubt. However, I still think the difficulty is fairly standard for this point. I don't mean like it's standard for an endgame, I mean it's basically the same thing that the rest of the dungeons have been in terms of consistent difficulty. However, like I said earlier, I can't tell if that's because they're actually all the same rough difficulty for the point in the game they would be at, or if that's just because due to the constant upgrades you get and how fast you can get a large amount of health and defenses, if it just feels easier because of that. Oh, and hey, we're actually going to have a bombos go off. Though, I have to admit, I like the consistency, because if I recall in Link to the Past, Turtle Rock, which was basically the final dungeon out of the main 8 for that one, had almost this exact same tile set used. So, props for consistency, though Death Mountain I don't think Death Mountain's ever been the final dungeon of a Zelda game. It might as well have been in Zelda 2 for how hard that version of it was, even though you did that like after the second dungeon, not even. Zelda 2 had a lot of scaling issues. Rotate in hell forever, Spark. Really, though, nothing else I can really say about the dungeons in this game that I haven't already said. They're all fairly standard. I like some of the ideas that they brought into them, especially, like I said, Dungeon 6. But none of them are overly interesting. The main reason I think you should come to BS The Legend of Zelda Ancient Stone Tablets, there we go, that's my mouth working, is honestly just for the refinements to the system itself. And honestly, the fairly unique time system that, while it also limits the game, also, I guess in a way, presents a bit of a speedrun challenge. Because honestly, the refinements they gave to the already pretty decent Link to the Past engine make the game better in my eyes. Especially the ability to turn in Pegasus boots. I really wish that was in the original game. First off, before I go any farther, that's the map, and as you can see, this place is big. But you never really backtrack down any prior floors. You're constantly ascending in this place. Anyway, as I was saying, I kind of wish, in fact, there probably is some sort of code you can do to do this, or some sort of patch, that they've re-released A Link to the Past, but with these additions. In fact, that's what the Game Boy Advance version should have been. Looking back, just add all the refinements from this and the exclusive dungeon, and you would have been fine. Maybe add in like a throwback to this or something. Because the Game Boy Advance version had a lot more potential to be more than just a straight-up port. Because as much as I love the Game Boy Advanced, way too many Super Nintendo ports. With botched soundtracks more often than not, too. Though admittedly, A Link to the Past and Final Fantasy VI weren't that bad. Either way, getting off that topic, we want a hedgehog, yes, hookshot over to this to get the mirror shield. So now, in terms of arsenal, we're basically a fully powered Link from Link to the Past. We're still missing a few heart containers and such, but we're mostly good. Though you might notice that there is a couple of items missing from Link's arsenal in this game. First off is the magic cape, the one that made you invisible, and technically invincible because of that. There was no real reason to be in that because they never really had any ideas to use with it. Also is missing is the Kanapaki, which was the pure invincibility button. I don't know why they didn't incorporate that yet again, probably just due to either being completely broken or no puzzles that could have involved it. And the Bukamudora itself. I never understood why they didn't do that. Because those could have led to some interesting ideas, like maybe a very large room in a dungeon where you needed to use the Kanapaki or the magic cape and get to the end before you ran out of magic, otherwise you would basically be screwed. But, missed opportunities or not, I still think this game did decent enough on its puzzle ideas. Honestly, some of the puzzles are better than the ones in the original Link to the Past. And when I mean better, I don't mean, like, harder to solve. I mean more fair in terms of difficulty for the point in the relative point in the game you're at. It's not like, say, Ocarina of Time, where the Forest Temple is fairly easy. The Fire Temple is harder than the Forest Temple, but not too bad difficulty. But then the Water Temple happens, and you're just like, where did this come from? Oh, now I'm sad. And Shadow Link's killing me. Great. Whereas, say, like in this or Majora's Mask, you can see the steady climb in difficulty, though, in different ways. This stays overall easy throughout, but it gets harder as you go, yes. Whereas Majora's Mask, maybe, starts off a bit hard, but stays a consistent hard, just with more complexity added onto it. Mind you, I could just gush over and over and over again about Majora's Mask. I just love that game too much. Let's put it like this. For my history of game design course last year, our only homework was writing reviews for games. So needless to say, I loved it. We got to do it for specific generations, namely Atari generation, NES generation, NES/Super Nintendo generation. Actually, those were combined. N64 generation and GameCube generation, then any generation we wanted. For my N64 generation, I did Majora's Mask, and I did so well on that, I could probably use that to make just a review of the game on its own. I'm not going to, because I would have to probably restructure some things just to make it seem more like a review, and I don't even know if I still have that text document on my computer. And honestly, on an unrelated note, for my GameCube review, I did Resident Evil 4, even though I was technically the Wii version, and good lord, I also did well on that. I missed that class. That class was fun. Either way, back to the game at hand. I'll give this dungeon this. I think it does a fantastic job of something that the Zelda fan base often complains about with the series, that you actually end up using a lot of your items throughout it. I know I actually talked about this a bit earlier, how I think that the Zelda series is a bit mixed with that. Like, there are some games on both 2D and 3D sides that do a great job of allowing you to use your items as you go through, but others that don't. And this is actually a pretty good example of it, because you use a lot of your items here. And yeah. I guess one thing that is kind of annoying about talking about a game like this is that since it's so heavily based in another game that I've already played, I can't really talk about a lot of the quirks with the game's programming, hit detection, all that, because I've already done all that. And the game's plot, well, there's nothing special here, let's be honest. Though actually, apparently some people recently found a few things for this to tell you. They found like a small collection of Kirby games that never got released, apparently. I don't know too much about it because I only saw the article, I didn't click on it, and Kirby, while I love the guy, he's not someone I'll go out of my way to learn information about if something new has been found. However, at the same time, I also went and directly clicked on that link when I saw that people had found 32 new endings in Zero Wing. All Japanese exclusive, obviously, but yeah. Zero Wing's a really good shmup. Hard, but good. Plus, it gave us probably one of the earliest video game memes I can think of, thanks to All Your Base. And here's our dungeon item, which I'm probably going to ignore, never mind. We got the Ice Rod. What an inverse of getting it, because this was like the third item you could probably get in the original game, at least from a chest, because you could get it basically right after getting the bombs. And now it's the last thing I get. But yeah, as you can see, we're almost done with the place. It's one of the longer dungeons in the game, yes, but there's nothing really annoying about it. It's still very linear. There's very few obtuse puzzles. it's all fairly simple. Yet again, designed to be done in an hour. But I like this thing. I think you're supposed to do this in the original game as well, and Turtle Rock, but I never did because I just tanked the damage. You're supposed to raise your mirror shield to block the damage. Yeah, it's cool. And yeah, I'm out of things to talk about now. How's life, guys? Mine's pretty good. Waiting for Final Fantasy 15 and Sun and Moon. Conflicted between which one I'm going to buy first, even though, honestly, I'll have enough money by the time Final Fantasy 15's out if I get Sun and Moon first anyway. But I've been waiting for 15 for 10 years. And I want it to be out, and it will be out by the time this gets uploaded, and I hope I enjoyed playing it, because I will have beaten it. I know I will have. Either way, time for the boss, who is a bit familiar for this point in the game. Trinex, or whatever your name is. Similarly to the original game, he has two heads which are weak to the opposing color element, so I can kill the ice head with the fire rod and vice versa. You want to get rid of the ice head first, because otherwise it'll use its attack to ice up part of the floor and make it slippery. Needless to say, that's a horrible thing to have happen. And then you just kill the fire head like that. After that, he goes into his shell, which then explodes, and then it becomes similar to a bit of a Moldorm fight. His very snake-like body for a turtle will move all around, and you just have to attack the flashing part. I want to say it takes 3 spin attacks. I don't quite remember. Either way, this fight kind of gets annoying in this fight just because of how fast he is. But either way, that's all 8 dungeons. Pretty easy. And our second to last heart container. But our last ancient stone tablet. I really do love that fanfare. You've collected all the stone tablets. Soon we'll be able to solve their mystery. Let's hurry to the summit. Indeed, we're not quite done yet. We actually have a few more rooms, and then we're going to be on top of Death Mountain. What happened to the old route? I don't know. Because now, we're led right to where a piece of heart was in the original, this part of the mountain. I don't know what happened in between games. Mind you, they said like 6 years passed, didn't they? Either way, here we are at the tablet. I sense a terrible power, Hero of Light. Something's been sealed here. We must use the 8 stone tablets in the Book of Mudor to undo the seal. Please wait a while. Once I've successfully solved the mystery of the seal, I'll call out to you to your heart no matter where you may be. For now, you should equip and prepare yourself for what's to come. I'll be alright. And now we basically have free reign over what to do with the rest of our time. Zelda will call for you at, I think, the 48th minute of the hour. So now, we're basically just unscrew off and do what you can duty. Get the last heart pieces, so on and so forth. Mostly. First off, this is what I meant about the Cane of Samaria, that if you don't push them into the pit, that is, you can pick up the Samaria blocks and go poopy. Did I just say poopy? However, we can't exactly get 100% yet. Why? 2 of the heart pieces are in the final area, which we can't access until that 48th minute. Kind of stupid design in my eyes, but I can deal. So now we just get to go screw off. There are a few things we can do. The mole will show up a bit earlier than usual, as will the mini game. So for right now, we're just gonna, first off, go and rent the shovel in order to get the last heart piece. I didn't talk about it last part, but this is where the rental shop is. Also, there is no level 5 sword, sadly. So let's find out where our last heart piece in Hyrule is. And it is just next to the fortune teller's house. And I do recommend when you have the time, use the shovel to dig out some stuff, because getting money from that is very useful. And now for the mole. The mole is actually, for my playthrough at least, right next to the bridge to the area, to week 1's area. Let's see what he has to say. Molly ho, holy moly ho, you're in luck, you found me. I'll tell you where to find some great treasure. Listen carefully, go to the summit of Death Mountain to find something, hurry! And I'm gonna show this actual off. If you want to get to the top of Death Mountain at all, which you will need to, obviously, they actually have a little triangle thing at the top, which I think represents Zelda, I suppose, that you can get up here immediately with. And time for our last mole section, which is just a lot of rubies. I think there's over 1,000 in here, which is ridiculous. And in terms of areas, where the mole can show up in week 4 before you actually talk to him. He can either be where I found him, east of the cemetery, north of Kakariko, the grove where the Master Sword is, or inside the Lumberjack's house, I believe. And you can just get a ridiculous amount of money through it. Like I said, the mole isn't entirely necessary at all, really. It's just there if you need some extra money, which I don't because I have over 14,000. But it's useful, I suppose. And at the 35th minute, the minigame becomes available for this week, which is just a lottery. Basically, you have to use your boomerang and hit the thing. It is a bit deceptive as to how it works, though. You don't get 20 rupees for getting, like, 3 reds. You get 60. So therefore, the most you can get out of it is 150 at a time. And at this point, I just kind of screw around and... Oh no, I let time run out. Oh boy. Shit. Oh, how could this happen? Too bad, you've run out of time! If you're wondering what the hell just happened, I skipped ahead to the last minute without beating the final boss. This game has a bad ending. Due to how the time limit worked. So if you didn't beat the game, or at least the final boss, before time runs out, you die, essentially. And it goes right to the credits, at least the voice actor version of it. I do like that there's a bad ending, however, if you're playing this on emulator, you can basically just load up your game again and you'll have all the time again. It's not really annoying. Can you hear me? It's me, Zelda. Can you hear me, Hero of Light? I finally solved the mystery of the stone tablets. Come back as soon as possible. Like I said, at the 48th minute, you have to get called by Zelda to go back. So let's go finish this off without dying this time. Hero of Light, all the hidden riddles of the tablets are solved thanks to your courage. Now, borrow the tablet's power and prevent the King of Evil's greatest powers from resurrecting. Heaven and earth of Hyrule, please lend me your great power. Winds and waters of Hyrule, bestow upon me the arrow of shining light. Ba-da-da-da! We get the silver bow and arrow that can seal the embodiment of evil. Believe in our own strength to the end. Embodiment of evil? What? Oh god, Dark World. Yep, you thought that Twilight Princess was kind of ridiculous. This game gets hijacked by Ganon in the last 8 minutes. Mind you, it's a Link to the Past. Who else could have been the final boss but Ganon? But before this, he's never brought up in the plot at all, really. Just that monsters have returned. And there's piece of art number 7. But yeah, we all expected it to be Ganon, let's be honest. I don't like how the last 2 heart pieces are here, though. Because that means that you could potentially miss out on these if you don't decide to do the final boss for some reason. And if you, for some reason, don't notice the rock pile you can knock into, you can potentially miss out on 100% for the final boss. Either way, let's head into Ganon's Tower, which has seen a drastic size decrease in that now it's just about 3 staircases and a final boss, similarly to the actual tower part in Ocarina of Time, at least once you pass all the Stalfos, Lizalfos, and Darknut rooms. I don't think I mentioned it before, but I do love Ganon's theme. Alright, you big bacon bastard, let's go! So you still came all the way here. My eyes have not been fooled. I shall take your power myself now. And it's time for Ganon, who is the exact same fight he was in A Link to the Past. Best strategy? Get some cheap shots in when you can, and when he's teleporting, charge up a spin attack in order to get the most damage on him whenever he stops going. He will occasionally still do his great Trident of Fire attack where he spins bats all around him, which is still kind of annoying to not get hit by. But honestly, he's still a very easy final boss. He's a bit of a difficulty spike, I'll admit to that, compared to, like, Trinex. But we've seen harder final bosses in the other Zelda games I've played, let's be honest. Particularly in Minish Cap, honestly. Because I was doing a playthrough of that this summer, and Vati kicked my ass. As I expected, with that power, the world will be mine. You shall fall before my secret art. And by that, he means he's darkening the area again. Oh no. At this point, the boss fight becomes exactly what it was, but even more so, in the fact that if you hit him during this phase, he'll turn blue and you need to shoot him with the light arrow. Or technically silver arrow, but let's be honest, it's the light arrow. I think it takes 3 shots and he's down. So if you can somehow get enough shots in, you can probably end this really quickly. But, honestly, that's about it. Hijacked by Ganon, kill him quickly. Nothing really special. Suck it, Ganon. You got killed by an unrelated kid, who doesn't even have a Triforce piece. Actually, yeah, that does kind of lessen his threatening power, doesn't it? Huh. Oh well. I just hope you don't run out of time during that final boss, because that would suck. And with that, we basically have free reign over what we can do in these last 5 minutes. So let's go talk to some important people. Zelda, did you get kidnapped again? No, she didn't. That would be one hell of a plot twist. B.S. Zelda Ancient Stone Tablets 2. The Kidnapping. This high place is where it all began. Please look. The land of Hyrule. I never realized how beautiful it is until now. Thank you, Hero of Light. This land has been saved thanks to your help. No words can express my gratitude. Thank you. Truly. We'll never forget what you've done. Yeah, it's really generic dialogue, but I like it. Mind you, I like this ending of the game in particular because it plays this song from A Link to the Past, which has always been my favorite part of the credits theme. I can't see anything from your future now. You have fought well for the sake of Hyrule, young one. I mean, Hero of Light. Because of you, Hyrule has been saved once more. Thank you. You only have a limited amount of time left in this world, but don't leave with any regrets. Ah, gods, these people have returned here safely. We thank you. At this point, you really can do whatever. Gamble at the slots or do whatever, but I figured if we're going to be returned to our own world, let's do where we first landed. Admittedly, it is really somber walking around Hyrule Field with this song playing. Because this song makes me kind of just want to sit back, relax, and kind of tear up a little bit. But then I'm like killing things, and I'm like, I am totally confused. Also, I'd like to note for this ending section, you have unlimited bombs and arrows. Cool. I guess it's to prevent you from running out during Ganon. Oh, Princess. I hope the youth is taking care of you. Ah, Princess Zelda is back. Princess! I'm sorry I made you worry for me. I'm just glad you are unharmed. Now, first and foremost, we need to take you back to the castle. No, we have no time. There's something I have to say before the youth leaves our world and goes home. On Death Mountain, I felt Ganon's presence. I know Link the hero felled the evil King Ganon, but then I realized that was only his body. The same cannot be done to his malicious essence. It was through this evil energy's doing that the youth was pulled into our world. If the power that the land of Hyrule bestowed on the youth had been taken by Ganon, this world would have fallen into deep darkness. I truly thank you. Because of your wisdom, courage, and power, I'm sure the future will be bright. The time for us to part is fast approaching. Farewell. You've certainly overcome many hardships, haven't you? Goodbye! Thank you for playing. If the results screen hasn't appeared, please wait a while. I'm sorry, I had to be silent for that. I love this song so much. Plus, I was talking over it for the entirety of Zelda: A Link to the Past, so might as well give you a bit that you could hear without it. But ladies and gentlemen, this is our final score total, and I nearly had 80,000. No, 800,000. That is the highest I've ever gotten. I think before this, my highest was around 72,000? No, 720,000 rather. But ladies and gentlemen, that's BS The Legend of Zelda: Ancient Stone Tablets. And how is it? It's pretty fun. I have some issues with it on structure and difficulty spike reason, as I mentioned before. Well, not difficulty spike, difficulty curve. But I think the dungeons that are there are still fun to explore. I like the systems they had in place in Hyrule itself. And the time system is still fairly interesting. I'd say it's worth a shot if you're a fan of Zelda. Emulating it can be a bit of an issue on its own because you have to get the right ideas and the right ROMs and shit. It's a whole process in of itself. But I do think it is fun. And unless I decide to play some of the other BS Zeldas, this is the last Zelda game I can do that's new for a long while because I still don't have the tech to do any of the 3D ones. Unless I decide to do a replay Minish Cap, which I might just due to the fact that one bomb upgrade being missing is really pissing me off still. Either way, I like the game, I recommend it, and with that I'll have to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, have a great night, take care, and I'll see you guys in whatever game I decide to mess around in next. See you guys then.